Hello and welcome to the Downshift. In this episode, we preview the Japanese Grand Prix, celebrate an Oscar for the F1 movie, make our predictions, but also dig into the early game of team principal musical chairs as it's
Lights out.
Drop the clutch.
And let's get racing.
So smooth. Well done, team.
Konnichiwa and welcome to the Downshift, where team we are celebrating after being nominated for Best Picture, Best Sound, Best Visual Effects and Best Film Editing. The F1 movie has received an Oscar for Best Sound.
Yes, it did.
Excellent.
And the sound was good. I did watch it again the other day. And to be honest, I did pay attention to the sound mix and it was good. It was good. There was lots of
Can I ask, is that the equivalent of a Miss Congeniality award?
well,
Look,
I don't know.
yeah.
I can't remember who it was up against, but it was good. But there've definitely been better films, I think, before it. But I think the audio visuals, like the special effects, the way they replaced cars, all that sort of stuff, and the track action was the highlight of that film. So I'm a little bit surprised it didn't get something for the visual effects.
Yeah.
But
And notably the first time we've heard win and Oscar in the same sentence.
Well, this season, yeah,
for
absolutely.
this season, so
For
far,
this year.
So,
we've got the lucky hat back on.
Touche.
But yeah, no, it wasn't a
did you
bad
like the
film.
foil lined one?
I was wondering if it'd be a better watch the second time round, but I think I'd still rate it maybe a 7 out of 10 the second time. It was good, really good for what it was. Yeah.
Oh, look, I think it's a good, easy watch. I've watched it probably half a dozen times.
No, really.
So far. Yeah, absolutely. It's on my top 5 poster wall here in the Downshift HQ. So, I mean, yeah.
6 times more than I've watched it, Christian, so good job.
Okay. It's about 6 hours of your life you'll never get back. You know that, don't you? You could be watching other films as well.
Oh, look, being able to watch Brad Pitt with his laugh all the time. But no, look, team, this weekend we head to the land of the rising sun as the cherry blossoms are in bloom and the Suzuka racetrack is prepared for the third round of the 2026 Formula One Grand Prix. Amid talks of teams bringing upgrades to their vehicles after 2 full races, and even a promise from Mike Crack that we may see something special from Aston Martin. Now, team, I have a cunning plan.
You have a cunning
Well,
plan.
I have a cunning plan, but I think we need to get our wives to watch the start of the Sky broadcast and the introductions, which show the cherry blossoms in bloom, with the ulterior motive of having a holiday to Japan around Formula One season.
We don't have to. My wife
This is a
already
good
wants to
plan.
go.
I've already been
Yeah, I'm
twice,
not-
but unfortunately I wasn't there for the Formula One, but I would love to go back a third time. It is a great country to visit. So
Not sure who you're trying to sell there.
Yeah.
No, just the plan.
I
so-
can tack 3 days
Just
to the
the
Grand
plan.
Prix onto the holiday. That's not an issue at all. We'll just time it perfectly. We're in, done.
Right, sold, done. So, look, team, before we get started on our race preview, boys, the last few weeks have been a bit quiet, and I'd suggest a little bit too quiet. So far, we've seen some minor moves, as we've seen signings such as Bradley Lord appointed as the deputy team principal at Mercedes, Jenson Button being stolen from Williams as an ambassador for Aston Martin, and Alex Dunn being signed to Alpine's Academy program. But the big news that took center stage is the team principal moves, as we've seen from the start of this year, hundreds of millions of pounds have been invested by Lawrence Stroll's master plan for Aston Martin's supremacy, not going to plan. But we've now seen Lockie, Jonathan Wheatley, who has left Audi for personal reasons, and the rumour mill is running hot as he's now the front runner to replace Adrian Newey as team principal for Aston Martin.
Well,
what were the personal reasons?
reasons are that they offered him more money, so he stepped down from that to go to the other team that offered him more money.
Well, personally, he wanted to sleep on a really big pile of cash.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
to
think
be
so.
fair,
Personally,
it has to be a fairly slow news week when it's announced that Jenson Button has been poached from Williams as an ambassador to Aston Martin. I mean, that probably didn't make the top 5 stories in my newsfeed, if I'm brutally honest. But obviously, we're quite slow if we have to include that as one of our things to talk about.
I mean, if a rival podcast just happened to ring me up, I'd find some personal reasons too to move over.
Mate, if
Well,
I got my weather budget approved on another podcast, I'll be out the door as well. So But I mean, we're all here
increase
committed.
your salary
100%
to
committed.
$1.
What a team. What a team we are.
Well,
That's $1 more than I'm on now.
the only real news to come out was basically this potential move for Jonathan Wheatley to Aston, and then the flurry of discussion about Adrian Newey, but who was never really supposed to be a permanent team principal anyway. They were trying to find someone. So this has probably been going on for a long time behind the scenes. And then obviously the cancellation of the two Middle East Grand Prix. That was probably the only other thing that's been recent news. So we're going to have a pretty decent break. But yeah, I would say that Jonathan Wheatley would have been talking to Aston Martin for a long time about this. So they would have been in discussion with him and others for quite a while.
I would have to agree. I think this is not a week or fortnightly thing. This would be almost before season started.
Yep.
They would have been in discussions. Once that they realised they had a problem with the car, they would have been all over that.
I was surprised very early on that, well, probably when it was announced that Adrian Newey was going in as team principal. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I can't
understand as a
remember-
technical advisor and an aero guy and all his background. He was never spotted me as the guy that was going to be out the front like most team principals are.
The team leader. Yeah. I don't know if they used team principal wording specifically for his role. Maybe they did in a press release, but
Well,
yeah.
it was said because he actually publicly criticised Honda, that was one of the reasons that they would certainly have another person come into that role, because you can't publicly be criticising your engine manufacturer out loud. You can say we've got problems, we've got issues, but you don't publicly go
Because
and
that's never
demonstrate them.
been done in Formula One before, has it?
No. Well, obviously with Japanese, a bit of saving face in that. So, yeah, my understanding is that's one of the reasons they've also decided to make this move sooner rather than later, is because I don't think he quite has the prowess in front of the camera to deal with these sort of situations as they appear.
So potentially Adrian mightn't be a popular person in town this week.
No, he might be wearing a disguise. I think he's got a little moustache and a little hat going on.
The
Do
glasses
you think
to
he'll
go
look
with
up
it?
from
Yeah.
the
Very
clipboard
Inspector
anyway? I don't
Gadget.
think you'll notice.
No, I mean, do you really think he cares too much that he doesn't have that team leader responsibility at the moment? I think he'd rather focus on designing and building a winning car. That just he seems to be that sort of guy. Like,
Yeah, I
rumour
reckon
is
he
they
wants
approached-
to get that car back up and running to where it should be and prove to everyone that this car can do the job.
yeah, and he'd be the best person to do it, I guess. And the rumour is they'd approached a couple of team principals that declined an offer, like including Christian Horner. That's just the rumour, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I keep seeing reels like breaking news and Christian Horner doing this and Christian Horner doing that, and then you click on it and it goes possibly, maybe, could. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
it's
what's
just
your source?
more.
I think there's a
We
lot of
call that
publications
clickbait, Dan.
and
Clickbait.
people
Yeah,
looking for
I know.
news, creating something out of nothing.
I am curious to see where he lands, and I mean, you know, he probably would be good in Formula One still, but yeah, it's a little way down the track, I think.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys, I had to just drop out and take a call from Audi. They're asking if I can go to Switzerland.
See ya.
To reboot the Hadron Collider, or
I know. Did their barista quit or something?
I'm not that qualified.
His coffee's not that good, mate. Don't worry
I
about
did
it.
actually. I think I did see an Audi job that was for marketing or something. I'm like, oh, I'd like to give that a crack. Might be very good, but why not? So what else could happen?
How hard could it be?
Yeah, how could it be?
I'll make a call.
Yeah,
You'll
so
never get
I
that job,
guess
Dan.
we'll see what happens with Wheatley and that sort of thing. But they definitely need a leader in that team that can rally the troops. I think it all sounds a bit negative at Aston Martin at the moment.
And look, as to whether or not Mike Crack could have stepped back up, because Mike was the team principal previously and then got moved to chief trackside officer.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird, wonderful positions in those organisations, isn't there?
Yeah, but I guess obviously there's been enough rumour floating around that Lawrence Stroll issued a statement overnight to basically talk about the current speculation surrounding Newey's role in the teams, but it really didn't say much more than how wonderful a technical partnership and they have, and that he's a significant shareholder, and that's about it. So, well, I guess we'll find out when we find out what they're doing.
And I love the fact that they do say that we don't comment on speculation, but they've commented on speculation.
That's literally what they just did.
But no, so look, with Wheatley's departure, Matteo Binotto will step into the Audi team principal role permanently. So for the gentleman who stepped down from Ferrari team principal role, then came in and for Audi didn't want to be team principal, he's now team principal. But yeah, so look, I don't think we'll see much on the drivers front for this year because the focus is very much on getting the cars right, taking the pressure off driver performance, and with the drivers also wanting to see how the team's going to do this year before they even make any decisions as to which ways that they move.
Yes.
So moving on, it allows us to be able to jump over to Japan as we look at the Suzuka International race course for the third Grand Prix for 2026. The last one for a while because obviously we've got the Middle Eastern races that have been now. F1 has not said cancelled. They just will not be running in April. I'm guessing that F1 will try and slot something in somewhere if they're able to. But yeah, so
Yeah, but we're still
nothing
getting a
at this
break
stage.
for a few more weeks because there's no F1
Yeah, at the
racing.
moment. Where would they fit them in? I don't think you'd be able to fit both of them in without doing some serious juggling somewhere. So
No,
I can't see it happening.
at the tail end of the season, we've got a triple header with a 1 week break followed by another triple header. So essentially, they'd have to slot it in there, which would make it 7 races in a row, or to put it at the end of the season, getting it in December. It wouldn't make any sense.
You can't do that. It goes too
And that'd
deep
be
then. And
Pretty intense schedule for the teams.
Well, the only option is if you're obviously finishing the season in the Middle East, you could do something there, but at the end of the season. But you don't want to replace the last race of the season. That's their spot. So you've got to fit it in before that somewhere. And I can't see it happening. So I don't think we'll have it. We'll have it this year, and it'll be disappointing for those two race organisers. But it is what it is.
So, team, I'll put the question to us then. Given now we have a 4-week break, if you were any of the F1 teams, what would it be that you'd be doing over the next 4 weeks?
Continuing
I'm pretty
to
sure I sent a
work
reply
my
to that
ass off.
straight away.
I think some teams, in particular the Aston Martins of the world, would be probably happy they don't have 2 rounds of races to get to, and they can keep working on car development. So, I mean, that's what they'll all be doing.
Yeah, so it's going to work well for teams that need off-track development and probably not work so well for teams that are just trying to get on-track development. Say the likes of Williams, Audi, Cadillac.
Optimize their current chassis and setups, yeah.
Who are trying to work out their setups and get the performance right. And we've
Well,
got to
I
throw in that bundle of McLaren as well.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Cadillac and Audi would be too upset with it because they might be able to then have sifted through some of that data and possibly implement a change or two and possibly throw that in the sim rig and test it to see whether the airflow works or whatever's going to work differently. It might give them a chance to actually get 0.2, 0.3 better a lap. Could be good for them.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like that's where the teams get a bit of calibration between on-track data and wind tunnel simulator data. And, maybe they come back and go, oh, hang on, this is how it actually translates. Let's go and do some fine tuning in the simulator.
Yeah, and with F1 saying that they're not going to make any changes to regs or consider any changes now until Miami, it allows there's going to be a team principal meeting during this period, so they'll talk about the technical regulations through that and as to whether or not there's any changes that wanted to be made. I'd also heard rumor that potentially the teams may look for another testing period. So set up another shakedown or testing period during these 4 weeks at one of the tracks. So that would give those teams an opportunity to take those changes, take that data and be able to test that on track without it being in a competitive setup.
I mean, I think
They tested in Bahrain, didn't they?
yeah, they've already had their
Right.
pre-season test, yeah.
So, no, I'm just saying in terms of they probably can't test there anyway at the moment. If that was a track, they'd
No,
have
but
to
they-
still find a
No.
venue.
They'd
Could
either have
do
to have their
testing
own
somewhere else.
Barcelona or
private days, or they go back to Barcelona or something. But but I could also imagine a good portion of the grid might look forward to having no races for the next 2 rounds. It's a big cost saving, not having to fly the team out there, and it's a huge amount of time they get back to actually just keep working on car and car development rather than the race meeting, the race weekend, all the engineering that has to happen, all the travel and everything else. So massive distraction
Mechanics
to their
will be
normal
happy.
business of, yeah, exactly. And they'll save a bit of money.
So we'll watch this space, but coming up this weekend, we do have the Suzuka Grand Prix. Now, the Suzuka track, this is an exciting track. I really love this one. This is the track that does cross over itself in a figure eight-ish. First Grand Prix
It's drawn by a 3-year-old figure eight, but it looks good otherwise.
Very ish.
Ish. But first Grand Prix was held in 1987. It is a total length of 307.471 kilometres, fought over 53 laps, and with the fastest lap time being held by one Andrea Kimi Antonelli from last year with a 1 minute 39.65.
So we reckon he's going
we're
to
not
beat that
thinking
this
that's
year?
going to be broken.
Wouldn't think so. No.
So, but look, this is one of Formula One's most iconic and driver favourite tracks. It, as I was saying, it combines rapid elevation changes, which is roughly about 40 metres. There are high-speed sweeping corners and technical flowing sections, and it does reward commitment, rhythm, and precision far more than just raw power. So, maximum difficulty for tyres with lateral loads of up to 4G in some of the places, but this does demand a high downforce setup with stiff suspension for quick direction changes, which can throw the car off balance. The challenge is here, overtaking is limited, and with low tyre degradation, we've seen, the last two races that we haven't seen a lot of tyre wear issues through the Grand Prix.
Well, not from Mercedes at least, but the rest of them have struggled. But yeah, it's a belter of a track. It's a real old school, high downforce racetrack. There's not much room for error. Walls and barricades pretty close if you come off the track, and a lot of the corners are pretty high commitment, and I think they pull up to 4Gs in a lot of corners, like sustained cornering. And if you ever get a chance in a simulator or a game to drive this track with a high downforce car, if you nail a lap, it feels phenomenal. It's just a great track to drive. So yeah, really good track to watch cars go around. But like you said, the last year or two there just hasn't been a heap of overtaking. So let's hope, I guess, with their boost and extra power and deployment strategies that we see a bit more overtaking this year.
Awesome spins or crashes, either way.
Is track going to favour Ferrari at all this weekend? Not so fast.
I think it'll be interesting for us to see what this does do for teams, because we've had, two very different racetracks, and this is yet again another different racetrack. There is a lot of technical challenge through this, as Happy was saying, in regards to that lateral load, but it's a real mix. So you've got the S's where the cars need to be precise in regards to their cornering and handling. There are some long curved corners where you need to have that commitment, but you also need to make sure you've got the angle correct. And we've got a couple of decent straights. So I think this will also be interesting to see in regards to the super clipping as to what impact that has as well. So there's every chance that you're going to see Ferrari and Mercedes battling it out again as they were in China.
I think the Mercedes downforce was pretty good. I think McLaren were the ones that were commenting that they thought they needed to find a bit more downforce. So,
or get out of the garage.
If you get on track, at least, yeah. So yeah, I think the Ferrari should do pretty well.
Yes.
And we haven't even got it.
Oh, look, I remember George saying
you might draw one out.
Well, I mean, having said that, yeah, there's still chance that they're going to get picked out of me. No, I just remember George saying last week that the Ferraris were fast in all the right spots. And I'm just looking at this track and a lot more, curves and bends where, like you said, it's a bit harder to get past. So if the Ferraris can get their nose in front early, then they might have a bit more success this weekend.
Yeah, I reckon it should be closer based on that. Well, from George's comments last week, I think we could have a closer race. Now, whether they can sustain that the whole time, but I think they will cause Mercedes problems because of the fact they can nip out of the corners and dive into them. So it's hoping for good racing.
I think Mercedes would just be hoping for a traditional, Ferrari strategy error, which is a high chance of that. So, yeah.
Well, and it's hard to overtake. So Ferrari can get in front at the start. Like if they can start like they did the last few rounds, then they can at least make it a fight for some amount of time of the race, like hopefully a decent length of the race. But if the Mercedes have, I guess, that sort of tyre wear advantage that they've showed in the first few rounds and maintain that, then they'll be hard to beat over a race distance, I think.
And the beauty of this for Ferrari over Mercedes is it's only full throttle about 64% of the time. So again, being good through the corners, that will definitely give Ferrari that advantage. So Lockie, the important thing is, and I'm sure as you're itching to get going, is the weather prediction for the coming weekend.
And let's just say that they may have to break out some intermediates or some wet weather type tyres, because there is a chance of us having some rain. So on Friday, we have got the chance here, possibly about 40% chance here of a little bit of rain. It is going to be quite cloudy. We are only expecting a top of 15 degrees. So it is not going to be warm, which will be good. Followed up by Saturday. Goes even higher, 50% chance of rain for Saturday. Now, it will, have a big temperature jump to 17 degrees. So track temp, I think, will be actually one in the lows, which will be good. Good news for race day. Basically not expecting rain at all. Should be sunshine. To be cloud in the morning. That should clear off before the race starts. Again, track temperature will only be 17 degrees, so that'll be consistent throughout the weekend. In my opinion, I'd like it to be a little bit damp or even moist, as they call it, for qualifying, just so we can throw a little bit more spanners in the works and see how these cars, because we haven't seen any of them try stuff in the wet yet, but I think if we can get some of those back tyres lit up, we could see some very entertaining driving happen.
It certainly looked like, there might be a bit of rain then, for practice and quali and a dry race. So if the weather is variable, then awesome. Just adds one more variable into the mix. So I think
throw the cat amongst the pigeons and let them go.
Now, we haven't
Sure,
seen
there's
these
a lot of
cars
teams
in wet
A
weather
lot of
yet.
teams that want more variables.
And look, we've seen the amount of power that these cars have when they exit corners. So with intermediates on a wet track, especially at Suzuka, where you're cornering a lot, you're exiting a lot of corners, it could be difficult to look after tyres. It could be difficult to heat them up. We could see some big spins. So
Be an Oscar
please,
party.
please bring on the rain.
Bring it on.
Happy you'll be
It could be
dancing for the rest of the week.
unpredictable weekend, Christian, but we are very much looking forward to it. And the Japanese always put on a good Grand Prix, so hopefully we can get a bit more entertainment with a little bit of a slippery track.
Absolutely. And to your point, it's an exciting race in regards to the fans. They really go to a massive effort in regards to dressing up. And, I think we see some of the greatest creativity around this track.
That's great.
So yes, Lockie, exciting weather predictions there. Hopefully we do see some rain. Now for those of us on YouTube, there will be on Friday a drive-through of the track. So I'll take you through from the driver's cockpit to see how the track actually forms and what to be looking out for during the weekend. But Suzuka does separate the great from the good. So a perfect lap feels like a symphony of commitment and car balance. And it's why the drivers do love it. Now, as we get ready for this race, it's now our time to look at our predictions for this weekend's race, as we will pick our pole sitter first, second, third, and of course, who is going to be last to cross the line. And so it looks as though I'm up first. So thank you, Hubby.
It's all right, mate.
Yeah, is that
just
slightly
random.
rigged, or is that the new?
No, that
random,
was just
is it?
that was
Okay.
completely random. We're
Can you
rolling
set it
with,
up so that it?
we're
can you s-
rolling with the new predictions technology we've developed in house, and it just popped up by randomness. Yep.
No, thank you.
KT,
So yes,
you're
so
up.
Hubby has now formed this beautiful illustration to capture our predictions and as we go through. Now, as I looked at this and looking at the researching, given that we're under new regulations, anything can happen. But just for everyone's benefit here, Max Verstappen has dominated this track over the last 4 years. So we've had Max who's taken pole and first every year for the last 4 years, with a mixture of Norris, Piastri, Perez, Sainz, etc., getting some of the other positions. So for me,
I'm getting ahead of myself. Are you picking Max?
you
or not?
are. Because,
So, I'm thinking, did he actually say that, or is it just popped up already?
no, I'm doing this just to lull you all into a false sense of security. No, look, for me, I'm going to put one Kimi Antonelli in pole position, with first going to George Russell. Now, I was really struggling in regards to second and third with this, and I did want to put Kimi up there, but I think to your point, Schwags, is I think Ferrari's going to do quite well here. So I'm actually going to put Hamilton in second place.
Yeah, I always you my favourite, mate.
And for
The
me,
Kim Kardashian factor. That's what it is.
That's it. So, well, yeah, apparently she's there according to you, Happy. You've been following her jet, so.
I don't stalk too many people, but
The judge says otherwise, but anyway, that's fine. Yep.
I did stumble across some images on Twitter. So apparently they are together in Japan, wandering the streets with about 40 security guards to
Beautiful.
go
Nothing
under the
says
radar.
romance like 40 security guards.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, and so in third place, and the reason I talk about Max's dominance on this track is I did have Kimi Antonelli down first, but again, you can't count out Max Verstappen, and given that it could be wet, I'm going to put Max into P3. And for last place, given that Mike Crack has made the promise that we should expect something very interesting for the Suzuka Grand Prix, I'm going to put Fernando Alonso for coming in last across the line.
You think they're actually
Poor
going to finish the whole
bastard.
Grand Prix?
Oh, I feel bad for him. Like, if he does finish last, like that's God, he's going to be sore. How many laps?
With his jazz hands.
A lot. Jazz hands, I know. He won't. Yeah.
Mate, with those G-forces, they are not finishing the race. Sorry. Not going to.
53 laps of it. Oh,
That's,
I think-
yeah.
For Honda, they'll want to bring a car across the line.
they should tap
back.
Yuki on the shoulder then.
If the vibrations don't bloody vibrate it to bits, yeah.
Maybe they'll take it in
good
turns.
luck,
They'll swap
KT.
drivers.
Wish you all the best, mate.
Thank you.
Solid prediction. The graphics made it look better than it was.
So randomly, Lockie, it's over to you.
No problems. All right. Pole position. I'm going to stick with Georgie for pole position. I am going to stick with Georgie for the win. Unlike Christian's fantasies, I think Kimi will come in second. But I am going to give it to Leclerc to come in third for this one. And I don't feel that Aston Martin is going to finish. So unfortunately, I'm going to get Carlos Sainz to putt along last over the line.
Well, that's going to hurt
Well, he'll
him
be
as
happy
well.
with that. He'll at least finish as well.
Well, get another. Well, they both finished last time. Like Cadillac's done all right. But anyway, yeah, we'll go from there.
You know he doesn't
Cadillac.
drive for Cadillac.
Williams.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I realise that. But based on their
Nice.
performance so far this year, I'm really not expecting him to actually do great things either. So,
So he'll be
unfortunately,
behind the Cadillacs.
yeah, Williams is going to have a.
Wow.
bummer.
Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah.
that's how I'm rolling for this week.
Right.
Not surprising.
Could be 2 points coming your way from that one.
I'll take 2 points.
Oh, happy. There you go.
All right.
Oh, we're holding
Random
on for the
assist.
magic hat at the end.
We're holding up for the magic hat
Right.
at the end. I think
We're going to keep the people listening somehow,
our
don't we?
prediction technology knows what the fans want. Yeah, pole position. It could be interesting. I'm actually going to go for Kimi for pole. But I think for the win, we'll get George, followed by Kimi. Could be similar to Lachlan, I think. P3 is a lot harder because I think the McLarens are pretty close to the Ferraris. So, but geez, it's hard to know whether they're going to complete a
what do you
race.
base that
Yeah,
on?
I was going to say,
When they didn't
based
have
on
it,
what?
Based on past performance for this year, or
Is that based on
Look,
their
yeah,
market?
Is that because their garage is next to Ferrari, or
a little bit of data. But I think I'm going to go
a
with
little bit of
Lulu.
data?
With Lulu. Yeah.
so? Just to clarify, you just copy and pasted mine, basically. Is that what we're saying, or?
No, you went Leclerc, didn't you?
Leclerc, yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
We can go back and check.
Or could be
I
a
think
Nah, it's
you
fine.
went for
I did-
Leclerc. So no,
I did put
I've gone
Leclerc.
for
Yeah,
Lewis.
yeah.
But because I just think if he's got Kim there next to him the night before and he gets a leg over, he might get up onto the podium.
Nah, mate, he'll be too distracted. He's not going to be able to concentrate.
Last place is going to be a little bit tougher. I don't know if the Astons are going to finish. But I'm hoping they will. But regardless, I'm going to go for Valtteri, last place across the line.
I was so close to putting Valtteri and it wasn't funny.
I don't know. It's a toss up. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to pick. But anyway, they're my predictions.
with the amount
There we
of issues that the cars are having. You're right. Hard last position's a tough one.
It is. So Dan,
Now,
lucky hat time.
Giving the fans what they want,
Lucky hat,
Dan. Come on.
radio. Here we go. The
This is
real
what
action.
they sign in for.
All right. Now, to be fair, again, I've got two piles of names. One that's can't win and one that can win. I think I've done it. All right. So George Russell is going to get pole position.
Ooh, good call.
That's
That
a
was
good
pretty
one.
lucky. Wow. Well, someone else has got it too. haven't they?
Fortunate.
Have you got that
Fortunate.
KT?
It was taped
I
to
know.
the side of the
Good
hat.
run.
I've got him for pole, Dan.
I've got magnetic gloves on, and I can just. Yikes!
This is for Pete.
Sorry. Oh, actually, no. I think I grabbed the wrong pile.
Dan.
No. He's
Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, if it's wet, who knows who's going to win?
wheels.
Who knows?
Look, I'd just like to see his picture up there. Anyway,
He's a nice-looking young lad.
look, recovering with Lewis coming second.
Lewis?
Third place will be Charles Leclerc. Interesting.
Double
Well, you are
Ferrari
voting for
podium.
Ferrari to win
That's not terrible.
championship. So.
Well, imagine that. No Mercedes finishing off. That's
Mm.
really not going to happen. But anyway, it's all for a bit
They
of fun.
could take each
So
other
they
out.
say, until we get to the end and someone has to win and take a trophy home. We go, oh, boo-hoo. Anyway, so last place, I've got my list of names here and I'm going, no idea. I think you're right. The Aston Martins won't finish. I actually reckon even the Williams are going to struggle. I'm going to say, I'm going to pick Perez to go to bring it home. Yeah. If he doesn't crash into his teammate and take them both out.
That would mess you and Lockie up.
Well, yeah.
No, sorry.
No,
Nathan?
won't mess-
Nathan.
won't
Yeah,
mess
you and
Nath
Happy.
up. It'll
Yeah.
mess Nath up.
No, I was Valtteri, not Perez, but yeah. Hopefully one of those cars finishes. That'd be good.
That's your prediction. That's
Yeah,
actually
well.
good to be mine. No, I didn't realize you could switch back to screens so easily. Anyway, very good.
It's
There you
It's
go.
amazing technology.
set in concrete now.
Technology.
We're living in
Wow.
the future.
Wow.
Clearly, my weather budget's
we-
gone to Huppy's predictions, and I haven't got the weather budget through. So
Speaking of the future, have we mentioned the live timing app yet this episode? To jump on there? I
Jump
just
in,
feel like
Schwags.
it's a good
Nope.
time to do it.
We haven't.
I couldn't tell you the URL because I just go from our website, I think, which is www.thedownshift.com.au. Guess? Is that right?
At the downshift.
Look at that, right?
Said that
Yes,
with
It's
that's
like
a
a
pretty good guess.
well-oiled
Well,
machine.
I don't even know. There you go.
That's a pretty good guess. If you land on a page
No,
like
but-
this, then that's what it
To
looks
be
like.
fair, I'm not the IT guy in this group, so
No, true.
but when you make a statement, Dan, you shouldn't finish it with a
I just-
questionable.
oh, okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, a preposition or something, isn't it? Something
Yeah.
grammatically incorrect. Fair enough. Okay, I'll work better at being more confident with my.
Yes.
So Schwags,
Anyway,
poorly
we'll-
back to
poorly
the
we'll have-
live
practiced, but
timing
well
app. That's
executed.
fantastic.
We will have live timing for Japan as well. So hopefully with a few new features if I get a bit of spare time during the week.
So but
If I
Lockie,
spend
to your
too long
point,
working on our bloody weather forecast
Prediction.
today.
Under promise, over deliver.
but
No.
Lockie, to your point in regards to your weather budget, that has gone to our IT department because
I'm fully aware. Don't worry.
our listeners can actually go to the live timing app and also see a weather feed. Isn't that right, Happy?
Oh, hang on. Gee, now the development
We've come-
budget's gone up. Yeah.
I'm going to go to the IT guy's house and drink his whiskey, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
No. We are hoping to have some weather information on the live timing app for the race and sessions. So, yeah.
It may not be from Japan,
It won't be a
but we'll
lot.
have some weather information.
No.
There'd be a guy in a sunny costume going. Be fine.
So Lachlan will be doing that as a live feed all through the race.
Stranger things have happened. Don't worry.
It's really windy here.
So Downshifters, only one episode for this week, and there will be a drive-through on Friday. Boys, it's sushi and sashimi at my place for the Suzuka Grand Prix.
I'll hold you to that. That'll be good.
I'll ride my Honda motorcycle over there. Well
Will
padded
not.
gloves.
So
And
you're
a
not going to
soft
make it,
seat.
Dan? Is that what you're saying? Or
So we'll
Actually, no, it might be my Honda. Might be my Honda lawnmower. Actually, sorry about that. I might be late.
look, we'll eagerly tune in as we're hoping to see McLaren actually start a race and maybe Aston Martin finish a race. But until then, we'll see you on the next lap.